Balmoral Resources CEO and President Darren Wagner has been spending lots of quality time in central Quebec.
We're standing out today, it's about minus 28 degrees and a bit of wind blowing, probably a pleasant minus 30 on the wind chill scale.
Weather aside, Balmoral's new Fenelon gold property north of Val-d'Or, Quebec is everything Darren Wagner desires.
The property sits along the same geological structure and in the same geological environment as the Detour Lake deposit. Detour is now pushing somewhere north of 18 million ounces. The nice thing about Fenelon, similar setting, similar style of mineralization, but about 3 times the grade. On a cut basis, we average about 19 grams. Straight out of the drill bit, we're averaging a little bit over an ounce, about 33 grams.
The property is remote, but it's also road accessible, and it's very well financed.
When we acquired the projects in November of 2010, we completed an $18 million financing. We were roughly 4.5 times oversubscribed on that financing. So we're in very good shape financially. We've got about $12 million in the treasury right now that will fund the 2011 budget, which is about 7.5, plus the early stage work in 2012. It's actually great working in northern Quebec. We've got a very experienced labor pool to draw on, and it's also one of the best places to work on the planet from a tax basis. The Quebec government actually refunds you about 30% of every dollar we put into the ground comes back to the company so we can spend it again.
Darren Wagner isn't the only one pleased with what he sees.
Darren's a very talented guy. He's a gifted geologist. He's no slouch on the market side either. He did a very good job building up a resource and getting it sold. It was a win, I think, for everybody. I suspect his biggest problem was how many people he had to say no to on the first couple of rounds. So I know they've got lots of financing and they're just going to go and drill the heck out of it.
Part of the reason there's so much excitement around Balmoral is because Darren Wagner and his management team have impressed investors before with their previous company, West Timmins Mining.
We were focused on a significant gold discovery in Timmins, Ontario. We sold the company in November of 2009 to Lakeshore Gold, who are now putting the project into production. We're very fortunate to have a very experienced management team based in Vancouver. Collectively, they've raised about $2.5 billion for mine projects over the last 7 or 8 years and created an incredible amount of shareholder value.
And the property's a significant draw as well.
We basically run from the eastern boundary of Detour Lakes holdings into the province of Quebec and for 50 kilometers along the trend. It makes it one of, if not the largest land position along a major gold-bearing structure in the Abitibi. So we've got enough land to host multiple mines on this land package.
Balmoral's property has been explored in the past, enough to indicate its potential, but not to tap it out.
It's a great modern target for geologists because it isn't exposed. You don't have the pedigree of having a lot of prospectors run over the property and find all the good showings, and otherwise it would have been produced. And here we are exploring it with modern tools.
Fenelon, the company's most advanced project,
has some existing infrastructure.
There is an open pit on the project and a small ramp that was put in by the previous operators that goes to about 35 meters below surface. And that will eventually afford us underground access very quickly and cheaply, importantly, into the system for future development. In 2004, they extracted a bulk sample from the open pit on the project. That was sent and milled. Mill recoveries were 97%, which are extremely high, obviously, and that speaks very well for the future development of the project. That's exactly what we're looking for. That's the good stuff. That's pay dirt right there. It's a very high-grade gold project. It averages about an ounce on a ton, and that puts it in with the very best in the Canadian gold space in terms of its average grade.
The company's second project is La Martiniere, 20 kilometers to the east.
Martiniere we simply refer to as a very cool exploration project. It's in its early stages, but there's gold mineralization at Martiniere in 3 different environments, and that's the hallmark of big gold systems, is that they're able to push mineralization into multiple environments. And the section that we're aiming for here averages about 500 grams, so it's pretty spectacular stuff.
With money in the bank and drilling underway, Balmoral has clear plans for near future.
In the short term, we're focused on expanding the Fenelon gold deposit, expanding the gold zone at Martiniere, and getting up to speed on our N2 project, which is located on the Casa Berardi fault a little bit further south, and prepping that for drilling in later 2011. But we're in a position to grow quickly. We've got an experienced management team that's been in this space before, been highly successful in this space before, and knows what it takes to move a company to the next level.
It's got the right address and it's got the right guys driving the bus, so I imagine it'll do fairly well.
Waking up every morning and knowing you've got drills turning, knowing that at any given point in time you can have that intersection that sends your heart racing and the market scurrying to catch up is such an exciting thing to be part of, and that's why we do what we do.